All right, now we're doing 7Q makeBackronym. This is by Akyuna Akish, and 93% of people like it. So a backronym is an acronym, a backronym is an acronym deliberately formed from a phrase whose initial letters spell out a particular word or words, either to create a memorable name or as a fanciful explanation of a word's origin. So like biodiversity serving our nation, or bison is an example, right? We're going to complete the function to create backronyms. We're going to transform the given string without spaces to a backronym using the preloaded dictionary and return a string of words separated with a single space, but no trailing spaces. The keys of the preloaded dictionary are uppercase letters A through Z, and the values are predetermined words. For example, dict P, capital P, equals perfect, like that. So this one's going to be disturbing gregarious mustache. This one's going to be literal Klingon joke. All right, and so let's get to it. So first things first, we're going to declare a variable, because we're going to do a for loop to start off with. We're going to say let result equal an empty string. All right. No, an empty string. All right. And then we're going to say for let I equals 0, while I is less than string.length. We can say I++. All right. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to say result plus equals dict at string at I. But we're going to have to make these uppercase. So we're going to use this toUpperCase method, which returns the calling string value converted to uppercase, basically. So we're going to come over here and we're going to say this dot toUpperCase, like this, with parentheses. And let's come down here and say console.log result. See what it looks like right now. All right, so now all we got to do is add some spaces. So we'll say plus an empty space like that. All right, string with a space in it, let's say. All right, so now we've got this, but as you see, we've got this trailing space right here. So we got to get rid of that somehow. So what we're going to do that quickly is we're going to use the slice method, which returns a shallow copy of a portion of an array into a new array object selected from start to end. End is not included, where start and end represent the index of items in that array, and the original array will not be modified. So basically, when we want to slice like 2 to 4, it'll go from 0, 1, 2, so camel, to 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to elephant. But since the end is not included, it's just going to put out duck. So like it says here, camel and duck. Come down here, run it, camel and duck, like that. So we're going to come over here and say result.slice, and we just want to get the last one off of there. So we're going to say we're going to go from 0 to string, not string, result.length -1. All right, so it's going to target the last one, and since the end is not included, it's just going to pop that one right off there. So let's test it out. All right, same thing. Let's do this, and the space is gone. All right, so let's just return this. Say return. All right, and then get rid of this one. Test it out. Looks good. Attempt it. Looks good. And you know what? We could do another way. We got time, right? We ain't got nothing better to do except for learn how to do some more Codewars, right? So another way we could do this, we could do it in the concise syntax and say const make backronym equals string and have an arrow right here. And then right here we could say console.log, and not like that, like this, and test while we go. So let's start off with string, just so we can see what we got. All right, so we got this right here. So what we're going to do for this concise syntax is we're going to run the map method on it. But the thing is, the map method can't run off strings. It has to run off an array. So the thing is, we got to make this an array. So we could go ahead and put this thing in brackets like this, test it out. And we do have it in an array, but we need to get each one of these letters in its own element, all right? So basically, to make an array literal, we're going to use spread syntax, which allows an iterable such as an array or string to be expanded in places where 0 or more arguments or elements, for array literals are expected. So basically, all we got to do is say a ... right in front of this string, test it out, and now we got each one in its own element. So now we're going to run the map method on it, .map, like this. If you don't know about the map method, it's a method that's, it's a method that creates a new array populated with the results of calling a provided function on every element in the calling array. So basically right here, x is going to represent each one of these elements. So it's going to be like x times 2, so 1 times 2 is 2, 4 times 2 is 8, 9 times 2 is 18, 16 times 2 is 32, right, like that. So what we're going to use it for is we're going to say map, and for the, let's come over here, for the syntax we're going to just use whatever that array we just made, .map, and then we're going to have the element, the arrow right here, and then the expression we're going to use. So we're going to say map element, and then an expression right here after this arrow, and we're just going to pretty much use the same expression like this one right here. So we're going to say dict, and then we're going to say inside here, instead of string at I, we can just say element, because it's the same thing basically. And we're going to say dot to uppercase. Now let's see what we got. Test it out. All right, so now we got each one of these. So now all we got to do is join them all together with a space, all right? So to do that, we're going to use this join method, which creates and returns a new string by concatenating all the elements in an array, separated by commas or a specified separated string, all right? And basically, like right here, we're going to use the space as the specified separator string. So instead of giving us this, we'll run it, and it gives us air, fire, air, water, with spaces in between them. So we're going to just come over here and say dot join, and then we're going to have the space like this in the string. So let's test it out. And there we go, just like we want. So let's get rid of this console.log. Just like that. Test it out again. Looks good. Attempt it. Make sure there's no tricks. Looks good. And submit it. All right. So basically right here, it's doing toUpperCase beforehand. It's doing the split instead of the we do spread syntax, and then it's doing map, but it's doing it function style instead of arrow function style, or whatever this style is, and then the join as well. Basically same thing going on here, and then this is the one we did right here, except they use val instead of element. And you can just go check out all the rest if you feel like it. Let's go over to mine. Just me on this one. Best practice in my opinion. Very much like it. And we'll see you next time.